Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Solavei Compensation Plan overview. My name is Staci Wallace, and it is my joy to take you through what obviously is a hot topic to have so many people on the webinar today. It's the compensation plan and how you actually get paid with Solavei. Now, you've heard us talk about the vision and the dream and the desire to create millions of thousandaires. If you know or if you've been involved in any type of sales or direct sales or social sharing or even couponing or Groupon, you know that creating thousandaires, it's not a normal thing. You know, people might make a couple $100s a month, and then you hear others who claim to make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. But what happens in between? Where do people really make a sustainable $1,000 a month or more? Well, we're going to talk to you about a compensation plan overview that the company has truly focused on making an achievable mark in the compensation plan for ordinary people like you and I to be able to do extraordinary things. Now, what I want to do at the beginning of this compensation plan is first tell you that what I'm about to show you is certainly not a promise of what you will make. It's not an easy system. We want to make sure people know that any time, obviously, if making money was easy, everyone would be doing it, and we would not be in the multi-trillion-dollar debt that we are in this nation. It requires work. It requires diligence. I've been in the direct sales industry for over 24 years, and I've had tremendous success. But I got to tell you, what I know now and what I knew last year is entirely different, and the year before. It's a growing opportunity. Becoming an entrepreneur is something that you work on every day, your skills, your ability to communicate, your ability to connect with people. But when a company comes along and they make something achievable, you have to ask yourself the question, if I don't have the skills, am I willing to learn them? I know many years ago I didn't have the skills of the internet. I didn't understand, this is 15 years ago. I remember my husband being very, very frustrated trying to teach me how to get on the internet. And today, man, I had to do internet marketing and Facebook and Twitter, and I am able to socially connect around the world with something at that time I didn't know. Well, no matter how you're entering Solavei, I encourage you, consider if the company is going to lay something on the table and it's achievable, the question is, are you willing to do what it takes in order to make it possible in your life? This compensation plan, again, this is not a promise of earnings that you will make. It's up to you to take the effort in order to make it happen. But what I'm about to show you is what's possible. So let's go ahead and jump into the compensation plan overview by starting with Solavei's mission. And I think the mission is important, and I'm going to talk to you guys. I want this to be personal. You guys, if you've heard the compensation plan video that I did, it's on Solavei, it's on empoweredliving.biz. It's 17 minutes, and in our pre-launch, many of you might have been involved with this, where I was doing those 2 times a week, over and over and over again, and we got it down to a science because we took all the questions that people would have after them, and after a couple of months, we were really able to nail it down to a 17-minute presentation that really gave a great overview. What I want to do today, though, I don't want to be confined by trying to get it in 20 minutes or less. I want to be able to go ahead and take time to break down the numbers, also understanding that you're all probably at work, and so we don't want to exhaust it. But we're going to try to do this in 30 minutes so that you get a real grasp not only of what is in the compensation plan, but why it's in the compensation plan. And it starts with our mission. Our mission is to make commerce less expensive and even profitable. Now, you're already seeing how we're driving down the cost of cell phone industry alone. I mean, we certainly have, in my opinion, the best offer out there. If you look at the full small print details of all these others that claim to be offering $49, yet they're throttling you at 100 megabytes, or they're throttling you at 1 gig. They're slowing down your services, or they're even tagging on extra charges. What we've done is we're setting an industry standard to say people are no longer going to pay $100 a month for their cell phone. And so now other competitors are going to start driving their costs down, and we see that. Unfortunately, they won't be able to do what we're doing. With all the patents that we have, not only are we making commerce less expensive, but we're also making it profitable because of our entire social graph and the social network that actually pays our members to socially share our services with others. What we're not doing, we're not putting money into the big ads. We're not putting money into the big media campaigns. We're putting money into you, and that's what we're about to talk about. So what is Solavei? I think you all probably already know that we're a social commerce network that provides a unique income-generating opportunity for our members through, first, our nationwide 4G mobile service. Of course, we've talked about, and possibly you've seen on my Facebook cover and others, that we're not stopping with mobile service. In the future of Solavei, it's going to be a Solavei world where the network you create of people who are using mobile service. The network tomorrow, they could also be using energy, insurance, and other services that we may bring on in the future, which could be tremendously profitable for our members. We offer $49 unlimited voice, text, and data, a $49 member enrollment fee, and no contract. The only other fee on top of that is whether you choose to get a phone or a SIM card. So literally for less than $150, you can not only get your phone set up, get switched over to Solavei, but then for only $49 a month, you're locked and loaded to have great mobile service. So that's pretty exciting when you think of Profit Center for less than $150. There's not some big activation fee. You're not having to buy a big box of lotions, potions, and pills. We're just asking you to do what you do every day and do it with Solavei. So how will members be paid? This is the big question that we want to cover today, is we basically have one building block. And even right now, you're going to find with the corporate tools that are coming out, we are working on an amazing system that corporate can offer. Maybe you've been out there and you've seen a lot of systems out there, and one group has a system and another group has a system. Well, what corporate is doing is we're bringing together the best of the best systems. In fact, we're constantly rallying our top, our top achievers to say, what's working best for you? And I'm honored to be one of those achievers, but more importantly, to be alongside some great minds that we're coming together to say, let's create a messaging that works for everybody, but not based on what we've done in the past with other companies, but based on what's working right now. And with Solavei, there's one thing you want to make a part of your everyday vernacular, and it's called the trio. The trio is very important to everything that you will do in your organization. A trio is basically this simple. It's when you or someone in your network enrolls 3 new mobile service members to Solavei. It's very simple. 3 is a trio. Now, that's going to be very important as we move forward because you're going to get paid on trios throughout our entire compensation plan as you see it develop. So it looks just like this. We call that little purple guy, his name is George, affectionately. I don't think that's an official name, but I think we've all named him George. And George has friends, so you'll see him popping up. And when you see a smiley face on George, that means George is very happy. So your personal network trios, there's 2 types of trios we're going to talk about. One is personal network, and one is overall network trios. First, let's take a look at what is your personal network trios. It's basically everyone you know. So as you can see here, this is 4 trios. Now when we got started, a lot of folks wanted to know, Staci, how did you create such a massive organization? Are you using an opt-in system, or do you have some kind of lead generation system? And even as we move forward, people continue to ask me that. What's your secret sauce? Well, to be honest with you, we started with the number 12. We did it first because of the closed loop test cycle, but we stuck with it, and we still stick with it today. You know, in your first 48 hours, you want to make a goal to make a list of 12 to 24 people that you love, like, and trust, that you want to go through life with, that you also believe could be great partners with you in this venture. Well, you may have 500 people that use a cell phone, but that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, do you know 12 people that maybe need an extra couple $100s a month, or maybe they're looking for a career change, or maybe they are in the industry and they're looking to be able to do something that goes beyond success into a life of significance. Well, I found 12 of those people. It looked like this. I had 4 trios. Well, that was my personal network. But what was exciting is the company doesn't just pay you on your personal network. They also pay you, on the people that you enroll. They also, your personal network, you get paid on the people they know. So it's called 2 degrees of separation. Those two degrees of separation is basically as simple as if I go to a party tonight. I got invited to a really cool party, and they told me that it was tickets only. I had to have tickets to get in, and they gave me 3 tickets besides the one for myself. Well, I knew 2 people, but I didn't know a 3rd person to invite. So one of the 2 people said, hey, Staci, I got somebody that can come. Well, that is my personal network. Everyone I know and everyone they know. It's still a very familiar, comfortable, it's not awkward to have somebody want to invite a friend. Now, if I was expected to go get them to invite a friend, to invite a friend, to invite a friend, that would be unnatural. In our compensation plan, we've tried to stick with natural behavior. Psychologically, it's been proven that in order to make something viral, in order to make something spread like wildfire, it needs to be natural to people. Well, it's natural for you to want to tell your friends about a good deal. You go to a movie, you tell them about it, that's natural. But it's not natural to try to get them to tell somebody to tell somebody. Now you're asking them to do a job. So your personal network trios are all about natural behaviors. So remember, your personal network is everyone you know and everyone they know. If you're like me, you probably say, Staci, what happens after that? I mean, surely the company is not just paying me on the first 2 degrees of separation. Well, and that's why we are not considered a multi-level marketing company other than those first 2 degrees. We're not concerned about where somebody's located or what level they're on. The company is about subscribers. It's about members. It's about creating a revolution of people who care enough to share a good deal with their friends and their family. So everyone outside of the first 2 degrees is called your overall network trios. And it doesn't matter what level they're in. They're just in your overall network. So your overall network is not only everyone outside the 2 degrees, but it also includes the first 2 degrees. So your overall network really is everyone besides you. Okay, let's take a look at the 4 ways that Solavei pays. There's 4 things that Solavei is going to pay on, and you're going to get familiar with these. It's FAB, which is Fast Action Bonus, Trio Pay, Path Pay, and Path Bonuses. Let's take a look at the Fast Action Bonuses first. And again, remember the natural behaviors. You know, we want to reward people for going out and telling their friends. So the FAB is based on people that you directly bring to Solavei service. Anyone that you bring over, if you bring over 3, you're going to get a $50 Fast Action Bonus. If you bring over 2 trios, you're going to get an extra $100 or a total of $150. If you get 3 trios, you're going to get a total of $350 or $200 extra dollars. Of course, 4, and this is what everybody shoots for. This is why you're going to see in our systems coming out from Solavei, we're going to encourage you in your first week, go get your first trio. And in your first month, shoot for your FAB. Even though you have 60 days, I want to encourage you, don't take 60 days to get your FAB. Do it as quickly as possible. I've seen people do it in their first day. They go out and they start with 12 people. However long it takes you, you've got 60 days to get this special bonus. And it's a total of $650 in your first 60 days that you can earn. Now, why is that important? Well, we understand that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be changing services. They're going to move from Sprint to Solavei, or Verizon to Solavei, or AT&T to Solavei, or you pick the carrier. Well, we know that some of those people are going to be in contracts, and they're going to need to get out of those contracts. People always ask me, well, Staci, what if I'm in contract? Well, there's a couple of things. One is you can actually go and you can get out of contract and pay the penalty. Sometimes it's $100. It could be $350, whatever it is. The Fast Action Bonus was set in place to help offset whatever that would be. Now, a second way that you could get out of contract is to do what a lot of people are doing. Maybe you don't have the money up front to get out of contract, but you contact your carrier, and you've seen the deals they claim to have of $49 or $39 or $59. Well, pick one of those plans. Lower your plan to the absolute lowest plan, and let's say it's a $29 plan, and you take that SIM card or that phone and put it in a drawer. Don't use it. And get your Solavei phone for $49 a month. Even that, I know personally I was spending $127 or more on my AT&T iPhone, sometimes up to $200. Well, that is still a huge savings, even if I am still paying the $29 a month for my other carrier until that contract is done. So there's a couple ways you can get out of the contract, but what Solavei wanted to do is immediately put a bonus up front to help offset that. Well, what if you don't have a contract to pay? Well, then it's cash in your pocket, or maybe you're ready to get a new phone. With $650, we're making sure you can get the phone of your choice, or maybe you just need some extra pull-ups, or maybe you want to go on a hot date with your husband or your wife. Whatever it is, that's your $650 to do with it what you want. 4 direct trios in your first 60 days, and you get that $650 Fast Action Bonus. So what is your call to action today if you're just getting started? In your first 7 days, go get your first trio. You got 60 days, but if you got a trio a week, you'd have it done in 30. And you would be on to building a massive organization. You could take your second month and say, now I'm going to turn around and help my 12 people do the exact same thing. Okay, let's talk about Trio Pay. Now, I'm going to show you those 4 ways to earn income: FAB, Trio, PATH, and PATH bonuses. Now remember, all 4 of these are cumulative. It's not one or the other. You get them all. So if you get your fast action bonus in your first 60 days, or even if you don't, you're still going to get Trio Pay. So if you go out and just get 1 Trio in your personal network, you're going to get $20 a month for every single Trio in your personal network. I like to call this type of pay it's a 2-tier affiliate system. We looked at multiple ways of marketing right now that are running big numbers, that are helping people make money, and quite frankly, there's a lot of affiliate marketers that are making really good money by driving immediate conversions. Well, we're going to show you what happens if you just start to share this with your friends and family. And maybe you do decide to do some special types of marketing. But for every Trio, you're going to get paid $20 a month. So 2, you'd get $40 a month. 3 Trios, you'd get $60 a month. Now think of it. Right there, 3 Trios, $60 a month. That's a nice little sweet spot of Trio Pay, because there's going to be a lot of people that say, you know, I'm not really into building a big network, but man, I would love to get free cell service. If I could get that taken off of my monthly budget, that would be great for my family. Well, just share it with 9 people or 3 Trios. You're making $60 a month, and that's enough to pay for your $49 a month plus taxes. It's pretty exciting. If you can imagine, as that continues to grow and you just continue to share it with people, with just 3 Trios, your service is free. It's paid for. 3 equals free. But again, it keeps growing from there. 4, you'd have $80 a month. And 20, you'd have $400 a month. And it just keeps growing because it truly is unlimited what you can earn in Trio Pay. Now, I have had some folks that have come in, and you guys have seen the contests where you see folks that are pulling in 100 people, 200 people. I know I've got over 300 people in my personal network, actually now on close to 500 people. It's just growing bigger and bigger. And what's exciting about that is the fact that as that grows, so does your Trio Pay. So imagine, as you share it with a few people and they share it with a few people, that type of pay alone could become very lucrative. But let's jump out and let's now look at what goes beyond the personal network Trios. You know, Fast Action Bonus was everyone you personally enroll, and your Trio Pay is everyone in your personal network. Every Trio equals $20 more a month. But what happens past that? Remember, that's when that overall network of Trios begin to take place. Everyone you know, they know, and everyone else is your overall network. And that's when we step into Path Pay. Path Pay is just based on your overall network. It's every Trio in your network that stems from you. So if you can imagine, you're going to earn from $50 a month all the way up to $20,000 a month just on this type of pay. And it's in addition to your Trio Pay and Fast Action Bonus. It looks like this. If you can take a look at the chart here, for 4 Trios, which is your FAB, if you'll remember, if you just go out and get your FAB, that's not only your FAB $650, not only $80 a month in Trio Pay, but it was also an extra $50 a month in Path Pay. You can see how these start to add up. 8 Trios is $100 a month, 12 Trios is $200 a month, all the way up to 250 Trios. As it continues to grow, I mean, technically, you could just introduce it to a friend or a couple of friends and go away on an extended vacation and come back, and those friends have told friends who have told friends, and your network could grow with or without you, and you could simply begin to see that this income opportunity is possible for even people who, I don't like to encourage this because certainly we don't want you going off and just doing nothing, but it does give you an opportunity to see how this could grow over time to be something quite substantial. And it goes on up to 2,000 Trios or $20,000 a month. Now you might be asking, well, what happens after $20,000 a month? Well, what's really great is the company did not want us to have a cap or be able to max out the compensation plan. So they give us an opportunity at any given time, whether it's the first day, second day, or in the next couple of years you decide to start another Solavei business, you can do that and you can earn as many Path Pay bonuses, $20,000 a month pays as you want. You could have multiple businesses doing $20,000 a month, $1,000 a month, $10,000 a month. It's up to you. And very soon, in October, November, we're going to be able to do this all in in LLCs and business entities, and that's going to open up additional opportunity as well. I want to take a look at one spot right there. Again, the sweet spot of PathPay. The sweet spot of the Trio Pay, remember, is when you get your cell phone paid for every single month with just 9 trios. But here, what happens when you get to 20 trios? Now, that's not 20 trios that you personally bring into the business. It's 20 overall network trios. So it could be as far away from you as you can possibly imagine. 20 network trios. That's $1,000 a month. And that right there, we've laid the fruit low enough that we want to create millions of thousandaires. And we believe by laying the fruit right there low enough, that's 60 people if you did it in perfect trios. But 20 trios is $1,000 a month, and that's what we really want you to set as your 90-day goal. So you can think of it like this. If your 90-day goal is in 90 days you want to make at least $1,000 a month. Now some of you may say, Staci, that's not enough money for me. Well, then you're probably going to work a little more aggressively. But for the average person that's listening, that would be an incredible raise. That would be an incredible bump. Maybe that would be being able to go on vacation with your family. Maybe it would be the difference between public school and private school. $1,000 a month is going to change the lives of a lot of people, and that's why our heart is, let's create millions of thousandaires. And if other people make 20, 40, 60 grand a month, great. But that's really not what our focus is. Our focus is helping everyday people change the economics of their life and change the economics of this country and eventually the world. So 20 trios, $1,000 a month. That's pretty exciting. And when you think about it, with 20 trios, that is also going to pay you Trio Pay. And if you did it in your first 60 days, you'd also be getting great fast action bonus. So let's take a look at the last way that you get paid, Path bonuses. Path bonuses are on top of the FAB, the Trio, and the Path Pay. And the reason why we have Path bonuses in there is they're extra pieces of incentive, almost like carrots on a stick. In traditional sales, it's meeting your sales quota. When you meet your sales quota, the boss gives you a great bonus. Well, we wanted to keep that in there because we believe to some people that's a real good stimulus. So for 12 network trios, that would be a $500 bonus. All the way up to 2,000 trios is a $20,000 bonus. Now, a minute ago I was getting ready to say something. If you can just think about this as a 90-day plan. In 90 days, the goal is to become a thousandaire. Well, let's chunk that backwards. As a life coach, I always like, number one, I want people to dream and to believe and to think big. So maybe your number's bigger than 1,000, but it's really important that you don't just set a goal and assume you will get there. It's important for you to know what daily actions do I need to take every single day in order to make it a reality. The word execution is really big in my books. I think there's a lot of people that talk about plans, they talk about change, they draw circles and squares on charts, but they never take action because they never have a plan in place. What do I do today in order to make that possible? So in coaching, we help people not only dream big, but then step back and let's chunk that goal backwards. What does that look like if you begin to look into daily actions? So if we looked at in 90 days, your goal is to be making $1,000 a month. Well, I would encourage you then in 30 days, make it your 30-day goal to get your FAB. Don't wait 60 days, even though they give you 60 days. Have a 30-day plan of getting your fast action bonus. That means getting 4 trios. So you got a 90-day plan. You've got a 30-day plan. But what you should be doing in your first 7 days, go get your first trio. Because if you think about doing a trio a week, you are going to be not only well past your FAB, but you're going to be creating a dynamic plan for your team to follow. First 7 days, first trio. You're already on your way to getting your FAB because it just takes 4 trios in order to get your FAB. You do it in your first, if you did a trio a week, you'd do it in your first 30 days, and you'd have 30 days left over. And then if we chunk it back even further, is your first 48 hours, what would you do? Well, in your first 48 hours, you want to plug into all the resources that the company's offering, begin to promote. It's real simple. How do you promote? Connect with people, share the tools that we're offering, and show them how to get started with Solavei. So it's very simple to become a thousandaire, and in fact, in some of the trainings that are going to be coming out, the I Am Tour that we're getting ready to release, we're starting with Tulsa, Oklahoma, October 12th, and then 13th, we're going to begin training these plans, showing you how to become truly successful in what you're doing, teaching you the things that are working for some of the top leaders in the company, and making it doable on a daily basis. If you can think about now, what should you do today? Today, engage with people and make it a point to spend at least 30 minutes to an hour a day focusing on connecting with people, sharing the videos and presentations that we've afforded to you, and then getting folks signed up. Now, path bonuses. I went on a little tangent there, got a little passionate and got into my Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins mode. Sorry about that. I actually got myself all pumped up. I think I'm going to have a great day. I don't need Red Bull anymore. Okay, so 12 network trios is going to get you $500 all the way up to 2,000 network trios is a $20,000 bump. Now, look at that. That's $37,500 in one-time bonuses per business. So you can imagine, again, you can create as many of these businesses as you want. Not to mention, even if a business grows beyond 2,000 trios. Somebody asked me this yesterday. Well, Staci, I mean, if you get to 2,000 trios, those people are going to keep telling and keep telling him. Does that mean we don't get paid? Here's what I want you to think about, because that's what's happened to me. I have thousands and thousands and thousands of people now in my network. So am I thinking, oh dear, well now I've already started other businesses, so I'm certainly on the plan to be developing multiple entities. But even if that first entity grew to be 20,000 people or 20,000 trios, am I losing out? No, because very soon there's going to come a time when we're going to flip on other services. And now I'm going to be able to have access, even when we flip on the social commerce model, when people are going out there and they're just shopping and things they buy every single day, whether it's at Target or Walmart or Amazon or Chevron, and that organization that we prepare for today, tomorrow, could be life-changing for a lot of people. So I want to encourage you, constantly continue to develop and build. When we look at an income scenario, if you're like me, I like to know, okay, well, let's break it down. What does that look like? If I do this, how much am I going to be making a month? Well, let's just break it down. If you get your FAB, and I'm just going to keep encouraging you, go for that fast action bonus. Get 4 trios. Whether you do it in 60 days, 30 days, or 1 day, that's up to you. But get your FAB and teach other people to do the same. This is what that would look like. 4 trios would be, first off, if you did it in your first 60 days, you'd get the $650 fast action bonus. You would also get trio pay of $80 a month. You'd get path pay of $50 a month for a total of $130 a month plus your bonuses, okay? So right there out of the gate, you're already not only getting your monthly self-service paid for, but you got a little extra in your pocket and you're able to start doing some marketing sharing with other people, or maybe just have a little extra change left over. But what happens if you start duplicating that? What if your 4 trios go out and get 4 trios and you have 52 trios? What would that look like? Well, you're talking now about a $500 bonus, over $1,000 a month in trio pay, over about $1,000 a month in path pay, for a total of $2,040 a month and that $500 bonus. And that doesn't include if you actually got your fast action bonus as well. And then, of course, if those people just continued the language of everybody just go get your FAB, go get your FAB. And if that continued to develop, look at this very quickly. And this is what we did in our first 2 months of the business. I went out and I found 12. And I actually created a pretty strong requirement in the beginning, because it was the very, very inception of the company, was the first member in, and so the 12 of us that came in first, we said you have to get 12, because the company told us we could only get 12 because we were in a closed loop test cycle at that point. Well, we got 12, and I made it a very big requirement. If you're going to be one of my 12, you have to get 12 who get 12. And so very quickly we began a growing organization that began to develop trios, massive amounts of trios. So 4 trios to 52 trios to 576 trios, which is now how we ended up putting over 25,000 people in the pre-launch system, because we kept just encouraging people, get 12 who get 12 who get 12. Now some people are only going to get 2, some are going to get 3. But kind of like my son, he just started running cross country, and you know, the first day he ran over, it took him 12 minutes to run the full race. And he came back and I said, well, on your next race, what's going to be your goal? Well, I knew he could run it in 12, so I wasn't going to tell him set 12 minutes as your goal. I said, you know, set 11:30 as your goal. And then he did 11:30, and so tomorrow he's got another race. Am I going to ask him to do 11:30? No, I told him, I said, baby, try to break 11 this time. See if you can get 10:59. Why am I doing that? I'm stretching him beyond what he thinks is possible. You only use 2 to 5% of your potential. So instead of just saying, hey, you know, the industry average is 1 to 2 people come in, and so I'm only going to ask you to do 1 or 2. Well, you know what? That's where people will end up. What I'm going to say is go get 12. Shoot for the moon. You know, I believe, because I've watched it happen over and over and over again in our team, I've seen a lot of people get 12. who get 12. And I want to encourage you, make that your call to action today. If you're able to do that in this just one scenario, whether it took you a year, 2 years, it took me a couple of months, whatever it took you, even if it took you 5 years, can you imagine having an extra $5,000 a month plus over $3,000 in bonuses coming in as a residual income every single month? It's not lotions, potions, and peels. There's no auto ships. You're not having to convince people to keep losing weight or stay on something or pay extra money for lipsticks or potions. It's just self-service. They're already spending, on average, over $71 a month is what the average mobile user is spending. So you're not asking them to buy something expensive. You're actually helping them save money. And the average person, when they get on a mobile service that they like, I know I was on my last mobile service and I didn't like it for 10 years. So imagine if I would have been one of your members in Solavei for 10 years. That could be an incredible residual income. So let's just take a look at some of the corporate highlights here. Is what Solavei is doing is they're putting together something truly revolutionary. People say, what is the revolution? Well, the revolution is not self-service. The revolution is not creating a social network. Facebook did that. In fact, Facebook did something that was very unique and interesting. They created this incredible revolution of proving that people like to socially connect and socially share. And as Facebook grew to now over 900 million people, we've all just become accustomed to being okay with that. But what happens is Facebook, while we're in there sharing, they're mining our information, they're selling it to advertisers, and advertisers make money and Facebook makes money. But who doesn't make money are the people who are actually doing the sharing. Solavei's changing that to become the first company to create an economic exchange between mobile and social in order to create a financial benefit for the consumers. So instead of just socially sharing and talking about happy birthdays and things you did on the weekend, Solavei is saying, do that, share the mobile service, and watch what happens when you begin to become the advertiser. It really is going to create a revolution in the way that commerce is done. In fact, I encourage you to look at the I Am video, the I Am Solavei video. I believe you can look at it either in your Outreach Manager, or you can go to youtube.com/Solavei TV, and you can watch those videos and then get back with the person that got you on this call to tell you how to sign up. But those are some tremendous tools to see. That I Am Solavei video is a tremendous picture of what we're getting ready to do that's revolutionary in the industry. Solavei will create millions of thousandaires and will redefine success by putting billions of dollars back into the hands of the people for doing what they already do. We're not just looking at becoming a billion-dollar company. That was the big craze of this last season of watching Groupon become the fastest-growing billion-dollar company. Well, that's not even where we're aiming. Our aim is much bigger. We want to become the fastest company to put $1 billion back into the hands of the people. And it all starts with one trio. It all starts with that George sharing with someone else. And how do you get paid? How's all this going to take place? Well, we give you what's called a Solavei pay card. That right now, it's the way you get paid. In the future, it's the way you're going to actually share when we move into the social commerce network, and earn when you begin to purchase at places you do every single day. There's a lot of power in that little purple card, but right now, that's how we pay you. Every couple of weeks, the pay goes on those cards, and you're able to see, according to the network development that you've had, that pay show up, and you can utilize it just like you would a Visa card, a debit card. You can be able to go and pay. You can pull the money off. You can transfer funds. It's an incredible opportunity for you to be able to do business and do it all in your palm of your hand with your phone and with that purple card. I'm going to take one final look before we close out this call at the Path and Path Bonus chart. Now, this is something that you can see. You can either download it through Solavei, through your my.solavei.com, for those of you who are a part of Solavei, and you're going to see a lot of resources that we make available. One is the one-page flyer. You can also go to empoweredliving.biz, and we have this full presentation that I've just done recorded. It's the 17-minute version of the compensation plan. You can watch it over and over and over again. And I also have a download, a flyer, that actually looks a little bit more like the webinar, so you can follow along as you re-watch the webinar when you go to that empoweredliving.biz. I just want you to take a look at this, because this pretty much shows you everything I showed you with regards to Path Pay and Path Bonuses. This doesn't include Trio Pay or Fast Action Bonus, but I just wanted to show you this chart and let you see that the progression as you go forward is all about creating trios. There's a few requirements in the personal network trios. As you go up, in order to earn $20,000 a month, you can't just get in and not do anything and then expect to get paid $20,000. You're going to have to do something. So 30 trios you're going to have to do eventually in your personal network. That doesn't mean you personally. That means you and everyone they know, and 2,000 overall trios. So you can study that chart a little bit more as you print it out and look at it as well. I want to thank you so much for being a part, and I want to give you a final call to action. I want you to think about becoming a thousandaire. I want you to think about doing something today that could become extremely beneficial to you as the days, weeks, months, and years follow with Solavei. People are going to share Solavei with their friends. They're going to tell people about it. We believe that Solavei will become a way of life. Can you imagine if you were one of the few that got to start AT&T and it became millions and millions and millions of subscribers, and you were able to benefit as that network grew over time? Well, I want to encourage you today, start with your 90-day plan to become a thousandaire. Chunk it backwards in 30 days. Make a goal to have your fast action bonus completed. Chunk it backwards even more. This week, go get a trio. Make it your effort to find 3 people that are ready, willing, and able to make the switch to Solavei. And in your next 48 hours, plug into the calls, the resources. If you haven't already done so, go to empoweredliving.biz, sign up for our updates and reports, which is where I send out all of our webinar schedules, our call schedules. We don't use that to mine information. We don't market to that. That's simply people that want to be a part of what's going on with Solavei. And then, of course, in the next 24 hours or even right now, get off the phone, look at your list, and begin to identify who you can connect with, share our videos and the things to your outreach manager, and enroll folks immediately into Solavei and teach them how to do the same. Go get their 12 and help them do the same. Again, thank you so much. I want to encourage you to remember that this has all been for illustrative purposes. This has not been a promise of income, but it's 100% based on your own abilities. This is my disclaimer that I have to do. But I appreciate you guys being a part of it, and I look forward to the calls, the webinars, the I Am Tour coming up October 12th and 13th in Tulsa, Oklahoma. For any questions, just tap into empoweredliving.biz, as well as you can look at solavei.com. We're going to constantly be putting updates there as well. Again, thank you very much. Remember, now is the time. This is the place. And you are the one to start the revolution. My name is Staci Wallace, and I'm